Day Rangers looking for the outlaws.
Welcome back to Inside the News. This is our international segment. So glad that you are with us. And we teased about a war with Libya, and we're going to be talking about Russia and Turkey and China's bad behavior. But Ben, you kind of lead off this segment here. You're the author of the Falstaff, Enigma, and Esther, Sling. And you've done a lot of work in the Middle East and things of that nature. Kind of explain what you meant by a war with Libya.
Well, there's a civil war underway in Libya. It's been ongoing ever since Gaddafi was removed from power. And we got what we wanted, the removal of Gaddafi, but what we did not particularly want was an ongoing civil war. And it's devolved into a regional power conflict, because you have on one side the Libyan National Army, which is in eastern Libya under Khalifa Haftar, who is a warlord and an ex-general of Gaddafi's, who commands and controls a big chunk of the country of Libya. And he is backed by Russia and the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. And just like Syria, the Turks and the Russians are coming down on opposite sides here, which is very fascinating dynamic. The UN recognizes the Government of National Accord under al-Sarraj is the prime minister. He's based there. That government is based in Tripoli in western Libya. And the Turks are the primary military backers of the Government of National Accord. So you have increasingly the Turkish military operating inside Libya, fighting against Russian forces. The Russian forces are the Wagner Group, which has come to fame inside Syria, and operates on behalf of Putin's interests around the world on an unmarked basis. But very significant in recent weeks, Russian frontline fighter jets, unmarked, have been based now in Libya. And I'm talking about MiG-29s, Sukhoi 35s. These are top of the line Russian fighter jets in support of Haftar and his forces and the Wagner Group. So this war has escalated quite significantly. It's a war over influence. It's a war over the natural resources of Libya, which has a lot of gas and oil. The Turks are interested in that. And where this goes, it's getting bloodier, it's getting messier, and it's escalating the way the Syrian war escalated when the Russians got involved. So this is going to be bloody and painful and continue on, I believe, for years to come.
I want to bring Frank in, but Ben, I want to ask you a question following that up. When you said the Wagner Group, that's very Germanesque in its name, where you would think it would have been something different if Russia was involved. Do you know how they derived that name, the Wagner Group?
I'm not sure how they picked that.
I mean, it wasn't because of the operatic composer.
Oh, maybe. Maybe that had something to do with it. I'll research it and we can talk about it next week. But that is a Russian mercenary group. It operates with the assistance of Putin, and it doesn't do anything anywhere without getting the approval and consent of Vladimir Putin.
All right. And Frank, when I mentioned Wagner and then and operas and stuff, I mean, you knew what I was talking about. But Russia's into this thing with Libya. Boy, they had their eyes set on that years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, isn't it absolutely fascinating that the press, which has never been shy about criticizing the U.S. move to take out Saddam Hussein, saying that it wasn't necessarily in our best interest to get into that fight, has never discussed the irrationality of the Obama move to knock out Muammar Gaddafi? We had no vested national interest in that situation. We gained nothing by knocking out Gaddafi. We had no reason to go in the first place. Since the Obama administration did that, there has been nothing but chaos in the area, nothing but gain for Russian interest in that area. And yet the press has been deathly silent about it whatsoever. Once again, we see yet another salient example of Obama foreign policy moving to enhance the interest of America's enemies rather than the United States. This enhanced the interest of Russia. It enhanced the interest of, in many ways, I believe Iran, did nothing but hurt the United States. And yet the press is deathly silent on that whole fact.
Ben, let's go back. I mean, it's interesting Frank brought that up because there was the apology tour, if you recall, and the Cairo speech given by Barack Obama, where he went on over there. There was his racist speech that he was talking about. And so here he did this big thing in Cairo, and he was the one who said, and it's been a pain in our side ever since, including the Benghazi incident.
Well, the decision to go in and take out Gaddafi, while I don't lose any sleep over his death, he was an evil man. The fact is that Muammar Gaddafi had become a compliant accomplice to U.S. interests in North Africa on the heels of 2000, of the reaction to 9/11. And the militancy of the Bush administration. Gaddafi knew that he had to play ball with the United States. He was told as much. He willingly gave up the limited nuclear program he was pursuing. He told the Americans where everything was. We went and seized it all. All this was quietly done. And he was helping, Libyan intelligence was helping US intelligence track Al-Qaeda agents and operatives around the Middle East and Northern Africa. So he'd become, in essence, an ally of the United States. And the decision was made apparently by Hillary Clinton, by all accounts. If you listen to the people who were inside the Obama administration, it was essentially, they all point to Hillary Clinton as having made the decision that let's just go in and take the guy out. And it's proven to be a big mistake. It was not a rational decision to make because we had a willing ally assisting us in our intel efforts. And Libyan intelligence knew a lot about what was going on with Al-Qaeda and other groups like Al-Shabaab around North Africa. And we lost that when we killed Gaddafi or caused his demise.
That was Ben Brunson. He's the author of the Falstaff, Enigma, and Esther, Sling. We have Frank Vernuccio. He's with the American Analysis of News and Media. And coming up, we're going to actually dovetail on what Ben was just talking about. Elections have consequences, and the spider networks that come across, whether it's Obama and his policies or Hillary Clinton and her policies, even though she was not president. What is this president doing, Donald J. Trump? And then the one who wants that office, Joe Biden, doesn't even have a clue what he's talking about. We're going to talk about all of that right here on Inside the News. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back.
You're listening to Wehman, Brunson, and Vernuccio, Inside the News.